TRW here with La Reconquista wargame, magazine wargame. Battle is Quart from the 11th century. We're going right into the activations. What do they call it? The activations of the first impulse for player A, which is movement. I have two Noxat markers right here, activation markers, but I have to go in order. So this is infantry, okay, but you go in order of heavy cavalry, then other cavalry, then what do they call it, infantry units. But here they're both infantry units, so there's no order consideration here. Movement is the movement factor is movement allowance. Movement factor is this number right here, top right, in this case 2. The only movement considerations, so the movement factor is the number of hexes a unit moves per 1, 2, per, put it here to indicate the first movement, first move for the Muslim side. The number of hexes you move per activation phase. The only other consideration is that in the zone of control of a mountain or the zone of control of a woods, cavalry units, like this one, pay 2 movement points per hex. Other than that, that's it. Can't be more simple than that. Second Muslim infantry unit here. Again, that is I still want to learn these. Raksala. These are Taifas, infantry who accompanied the African invasions. Almohads, Almoravids, Benemerines. Yeah, I guess these are versions. I don't know how else to put it. But Taifas is the name used to refer to the small Muslim kingdoms in the La Reconquista era. Okay. So 1, 2, second unit move. And that is the... okay, so that is the activation phase for the Muslim player. So we would go to combat now. Well, we are going to combat, but the only thing I'm looking for is, because I haven't paid any attention, is do we have ranged combat? Actually, before I go on, let me clarify. I had already looked at this before I started recording. Again, the Christian side have archer counters 6, 7, and 9. So that I knew that there was no way that the first and second moves of the turn for the Muslim side would be subject to archer fire. Okay, so now let's get back to ranged combat. So there's the archer chit mechanics, then there are a couple of units or a few unit types that can actually do ranged combat. I don't know if there are any in this game. So Bale, Goose, and Bamo units. Again, Bale I think is crossbowman. Yes. Oh, I finally memorized one. Goose refers to study. Where are they? Goose. Oh, there they are. Mounted archers. Ah, and it's just goose. It is a 4-letter word. So goose are mounted archers, Bale are crossbowmen, and Bamo. Bamo are... okay. Those are mounted crossbow as well, but those are the Christian mounted crossbowmen. So Bamo are Christian mounted crossbow, Goose are Muslim mounted crossbowmen. Or mounted archers. Mounted archers, I mean. Oh, okay, so Goose are mounted archers originally from Egypt and Turkey. Kurds also had a unit type like this, or had a name like this anyways. Alright, and Bamo are Christian mounted bowmen. So let's see if we have any Bale. I think we do. There's Bale. Okay, so there's at least one Muslim Bale unit. Do we have Goose? Yeah, we have Goose too. Here's Goose too. Okay. Oh, you can actually see. Okay. Alright, this is good. this is good for me, that the pictures actually help here. Do a close-up. I wish I didn't have to do these close-ups, frankly, but sometimes I just feel like it. So there we go. So you can actually see in the pictures themselves, you can actually see, like the ballet unit on the right, you can actually make out his crossbow, the soldier's crossbow, and you can clearly see the bow in the arm of the goose mounted warrior on the left. Alright, so that makes sense. Alright, so we do have these ranged combat units. Do we have Balmo on the other side? We don't. Oh, okay, so it's actually only on the Muslim side. So it's a range of 2. I should say it's normally a range of 2. I think if I understand correctly, if a unit is on a Yabal or mountain, hill, range increases to 3. So it's 2 or 3. Obviously we're not within range yet, but I will be watching for that ranged combat opportunities. Okay, so now we go to, I think that's the Muslim combat phase. So we go to player B activations and combat. Okay, from the Christian side, again, here's our Malik marker, which is a leader. You have one of those at any one time, with the Adal cavalry over here. Yep, this game definitely needs a player-made aid card. Adalides, medium cavalry, medium armored, medium type weapons. Okay, here's the camp. Here in the rear, line of infantry made up of two different types of infantry there. Here we have medium cavalry, heavy cavalry, our order units there, 3 of them for the battle, and 3 light cavalry. We have our 2 Naxat markers here. Again, you go in the order of heavy cavalry, other cavalry, and then infantry in your order of moves. Here we have light cavalry, or other cavalry. Okay, definitely going to have some action here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, you stop in the zone of control of, what was it, a cavalry and crossbow unit. Yep. Neither of which applies here. This is Suha, which is Suhada. These are the light, poorly trained, poorly armed infantry. These are the bottom of the bottom, so to speak. All right, so that's that unit, and then 1, 2, 3, and then if I would go there, that would be 4, 5 as well, also, because that would be a Woods Hex right there. He goes there, 4. All right. Oh, actually, no, it works because it's number 2. All right, let's put these in order. So it was the first Christian unit to move. This was the second Christian unit to move. Now the Muslim player is going to play his archer marker for the second unit moved. We get a 1. I've talked about this before, but quick. -1 for the heavy cavalry, -1 if the unit is in a kala, was on a kala marker or a fortress, and then +1 for the actually it is +1 here for these certain types of units, including Yine cavalry. Actually that would be a 2, but we still need a 5 or a 6 for a result. Still missed. Okay, so go ahead and flip that over as having been used, and then I just realized I guess those can't be saved. because I never saw a reference to that. So wouldn't that be interesting? Wouldn't that be interesting? I should double check that, because so this was the second unit move. Well, what if you didn't want to use it now and you wanted to use it later when the 5th, 6th, or 7th unit moved? Could you use the earlier 2 if you didn't use it on the movement of the second unit? That would change things. Okay, I verified there is no saving of the markers, but that would be interesting. All right, so I zoomed in here for our normal combat here. We have 2 units attacking the. We have 2 Yine mounted units attacking 1 Muslim infantry unit. I checked the table. I'm not sure if I mentioned this or not. This has a dash here for the attack dice, which is very misleading. I think it should be an X for a variable, because it is variable. So Yine units, according to a simple table, they roll 2 attack dice against infantry, but only 1 against cavalry. That's what that's about. So the first unit attacking, oh, it doesn't matter because all results are saved. Okay, so the first unit here gets the +1 for the multiple, for 2 or more units attacking the same target. So that is modified to a 10. I don't think anything else applies. No, nothing else applies. So that's 9 modified to a 10, which is a raw, or it's a rally result. Okay. Now the next Yine unit, their attacks with 2 dice, no modifiers. Okay, they roll a 4. That's just nothing. So it is a rally result. So the rally result, Rafad or rally. The defender unit is moved back 1. Okay, I'll go in order here. So the attacker gets to move the unit back 1. I wonder if you can move into a zone of control. Withdrawals with retreat and rally results, you ignore zones of control. Okay, so again, I'm not sure what the thinking is here, but the attacker gets to move him back 1. And I'm going to choose to go that way. Why am I choosing to go that way? Because I don't want him to go straight back that way. I want to try to get him without him going into the woods or the hills there. All right. So then the second, so as it says, a defender unit, the defending unit is moved back 1 hex. I'm trying to correct language as I read it. I'm done, showing the bad translation. Now I'm trying to do correct editing on the fly here. So the defending unit is moved back 1 hex by the attacker, and then a 2nd hex by the defender. So then the Muslim player would choose to go that way, let's say. Actually, that's it. So it is, in short, it is a 2 hex retreat, with the attacker choosing the 1st hex, the defender choosing the 2nd hex. That's interesting. See, I wonder if... Oh, it's just not... Okay, I wonder if the attacker retreats that way and the defender retreats back that way. Is it... It's not really specifically prohibited. They don't get into, other than saying zones of control don't apply, the rules don't really get into detailed explanation of retreating. You don't have retreat. We also don't have advance after combat. You don't have retreat priorities. You don't have retreat edge. You don't even have retreat edges of the map. So this is just really late in the written rules. Yeah. I don't know. I guess you have to imply that you can't retreat back to your original hex. The reason why, what the rules say is, let me show what's prompting me here to even ask, is it says, after explaining the 2 hex retreat, it then says, if Okay, so let's say the unit's here. Let's say this is the map edge. So it says if in the first rally hex the unit leaves the game board. So if you go off the game board for the first retreated hex, it can return to its second retreat hex, entering through the same abandoned hex. So entering, this is a better translation. It can come back on the board by re-entering the initial abandoned hex. So in effect, the originating hex. That's what they make it sound like. Was that a very special case just for going off the map, or does that mean that in every case? Oh, wait a minute. That's the nature of these Spanish rules. Actually, I think the fact that it's not explicitly discounted means that I think there might actually be player discretion here. I mean, it's not a retreat result, it's called a rally. Oh wait, I think I translated that as routed. Alright, I'm talking to myself a lot. Well, it's not going to matter here. But actually, I do wonder about that. I'm going to think about that some more and see different cases here. That is all of the Christian combat. Like I said, there is no advance after combat whatsoever that I found. So that's not even an issue. Terrain didn't come into play, but just to clarify, these are all woods hexes. So this combat took place, next to or adjacent to this woods here. So just to point that out, remind or review that. All right, so that would be player B's initial combat. So now we place remaining Noxat markers on the Alama track. Which I think is just, well, we used all of our Noxat markers. There aren't any to put on the Alama track. So we are going to the second half of the turn. To review, the Muslims have only one activation point, and the Christians have two. The second half of the turn.